What's going on, good people? Your boy E-Buck here, your favorite co-host of this grand show that we call the Sports Guru Sports Perspective. And of course, we cannot have the show without the man with the master plan himself. That brother right there, the one and only Hugh Lee, the Sports Guru. What's going on, my guy?
What's good, E-Man? How everything going?
Well, things is good today, at least. So I'm ready to talk some sports. I'm ready to talk what you ready to talk. So what we talking?
Okay. I want to start off by getting this off my chest. I just want to hurry up and just talk about the whole situation with Caitlin Clark and what's been going on with her, man. Because a lot of people look at it like they're playing bully ball with her and kind of bully.
Hold on, Hugh. We can't hear you, bruh.
You can't hear me?
There we go. All right, say it again.
Yeah, I just want to talk about briefly what was going on with Caitlin Clark. You know, everybody saying she get bullied and playing bully ball with her, man. It's a topic everybody been talking about, trying to defend her, kind of getting sick of the whole situation, in my opinion. I feel like I understand and respect what other people said, like when Matt Barnes was saying that her teammates need to be involved, but she need to actually prepare herself, because if you keep letting people attack you like that, that's exactly what's going to happen. But I've seen worse. At first, I didn't really know what was going on as far as some of the crazy moments in the WNBA. Then I started seeing a whole bunch of flashbacks as of late, when they were saying that how people were looking and thinking that she was being pampered from that. But yeah, I thought old girl did a cheap shot. You know, Kennedy Carter, that was a cheap shot as hell behind her back too. But we seen worse, man. Like the whole, you know, when Candace Parker first came in as a rookie, her welcome committee wasn't nice. And you know, one of the ladies in that little scuffle messed up her leg, you know, with the Detroit shot. It was some crazy stuff going on. I've seen some stuff now in the WNBA when I wasn't really watching. It was just as bad as the NBA in the 90s, man. It was just that aggressive. And now I just feel like they definitely need an enforcer on that team, somebody who's not playing that much or who bench heavy and who can help out. But then at the same time, Caitlin Clark gonna have to defend herself too, because I've been seeing lately too in some of the games how Angel Reese has been getting in some of these people's heads, man. I seen Jonquil Jones give her a couple of cheap shots, man, and because she was getting the best on her own, grabbing a couple of rebounds and a couple of possessions in the game. And it's just been really pretty interesting, but it's just not really her, but it's just more of the light is being shined on it because what happened with her, because we've seen some things happen with Angel Reese too, and it's been real aggressive. But what I didn't agree with, though, when we talked about that prior to, that Angel Reese don't want to look like she's the villain. With you on the sideline cheering that, you know, when she got cheap shot from behind. And it's like pick and choose, you know, what you want to do. You can't not try to be the villain, but then cheer on villain types acts. So, you know, I just looked at it and I said, well, yeah, I feel like her teammates need to have her back, but she needs to have her own back as well. But I just want to know your thoughts, because I've heard so much different opinions about it. I'm to the point where, like, I really don't care. If she defend herself, she do. If her teammates do, hey, it is what it is. But I think for the most part is she's going to have to start getting aggressive back with some of these women to let them know that you can't push her around and hold her ground herself.
Okay, first of all, I kind of agree with some people who discuss this and some who haven't. You kind of on the margins as opposed to what I agree and don't disagree with. Understand, Caitlin Clark is not a soft individual, people. Not at all. You have to understand where Caitlin Clark comes from. Now, first of all, let me throw this in the mix right quick, shall we? If I have that information available. Okay, this is Caitlin Clark's numbers at the moment. Don't so much pay attention to her numbers. We're going to get to that in a minute. But no, 6 foot, 152. Now, of course, we all been talking about the whole incident with her and Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter, know her numbers, know how they're not that much different than Caitlin Clark's, by the way. And note, she is 5'9", 143. Okay? Caitlin Clark, thusly, is actually bigger than Trinity Carter, first and foremost. Second of all, I need you to understand that Caitlin Clark, as most women in today's WNBA, have at some point played with boys. I would say the vast majority of those women in the W have played with boys, not only in recent times, but in college, in high school. And the issue of Caitlin Clark, she played on boys' leagues for the better part of her childhood until she got to high school. So she is no stranger to contact. One of the stories that they tell in the documentary about Caitlin Clark is a situation she had with her younger brother where they were hooping downstairs and he fouled her hard, and she in turn put his head into part of the ceiling downstairs and made him bleed, and he had to go to the hospital. So this narrative that Caitlin Clark is soft, wrong.
She need to display that, then. She need to start doing something for herself.
Now, hear me out, people. Because like I said, just like you're going to disagree with some of this, and I love sometimes that we don't agree because y'all need to hear different points of view on this. There's also the fact that, okay, I will bring up the villain of villains, everybody's favorite person to hate, one Draymond Green, who on his podcast this week, and keep in mind, if anybody can speak on being a villain in basketball, it's Draymond, said that the whole situation with Kennedy Carter, the problem wasn't that she did what she did. He liked that she did what she did. It was an intimidating factor, something to put something in her head. You know, did she go slightly too far? Sure. But in the same token, you want to put that in the head of this young lady so that next time y'all play, she think a little differently. But what he said, and I agree, Jenny Carter, stand on business. Yeah, I did it. She said some stuff to me. I took exception to it. I did it. Because that's what you're saying on your social media after the fact, as opposed to saying it in the press conference where you have everybody's attention. That was kind of soft. So that makes you soft, Kennedy Carter. Keep in mind, Kennedy Carter not soft by any means. I, unlike most of you, have actually seen her play in college. She is a tough young lady in her own right. Not to mention, pretty much setting up to be the sixth woman of the year right now. Have you seen her play since that incident? She feels some type of way. And she's not the only one. Now, all that being said, there's other factors in this we need to talk about. First of all, yes, we all talk about how she is the cash cow, that being Caitlin Clark, the golden goose, so to speak. She is. Plain and simple. Before Caitlin Clark came, WNBA got this much attention. Since she didn't came, her and Angel Reese, definitely want to add her to the mix. This much more attention, okay? You need to protect that. I said this weeks ago, Hugh, and you remember me saying this. Everything is good unless something bad happens to Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. That's not good for the league. That is not good for the sport. Any way, shape, or form. If she gets injured in one of these scenarios and is out for the season, a lot of that attention that the WNBA has been getting will go away. That's just the fact of the matter. It's just the truth. And that goes for Angel Reese as well. You don't want nothing bad to happen to either one of them, for real, for real. Now, all that being said, the league needs to understand, okay, just like at some point you looked at how Michael Jordan was getting played back in the day, in particular against the Pistons, and how the fouls were kind of aggressive and overextended, and y'all changed the way that you basically called the game. If you need to do that in order for the WNBA to thrive and for Caitlin Clark to get hers so y'all can get yours, I think that's something you need to consider, flat out. It was never said there was a Jordan rules or Jordan fouls, but we know they existed. You know that as well as I do, Hugh. It got to the point where you couldn't even breathe on Jordan. I'm not saying it should get that bad with Caitlin Clark, but it's something you need to consider. The last thing, what most people who have played the game have said, as the teammates of Caitlin Clark, you need to have her back. Trust and believe. Kennedy Carter's teammates got her back, and they got each other's back. If you know some of the incidents that went on this week involving the Chicago Sky and some of the security issues they didn't have, they definitely have each other's back. You don't have that feel with Indiana Fever. Part of the problem, why they have the record they have, their team chemistry ain't the same as some of the other teams in the league. I promise you one thing. Dejanay Carrington, if somebody hit her like that on the Connecticut Sun, oh, it would have been a problem. It would have been a problem with most of that squad, straight up. New York Liberty, somebody hit Anescu like that, it would have been a problem. That's what I'm saying. It's more to that story than the story. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just looked at it from the surface point of view and just got tired of people saying, well, yeah, she got cheap shot, and yeah, she did get cheap shot. But it's like you got to step up your own self, man. But like you said, that whole camaraderie with the team is not there because for instance, we're gonna put it in the NBA statute. That wouldn't have happened. Nobody would have got a cheap shot on Kobe. Matt Barnes wasn't having that. Nobody was gonna do that with Seth Curry. Hell, that ain't gonna happen with star players like Jason Tatum or Luka. It not happen. So yeah, they definitely need to protect that investment because the Fever was the worst team and got Caitlin Clark for a reason, and they need to definitely protect her at all costs. But I feel like in this case too, she definitely needs to just step it up herself and say, hey, enough is enough, because I know a few times she done had a few words or she did push back, but in this case, yeah, man, I understand and she's trying to protect herself too financially, but yeah, she can afford to, step up and defend herself. But this is just a lesson learned too, because that's like you said, that's why the team record is so poor, man. It just don't seem like they have each other's back, man. And you can see it. Like when that happened to her, nobody stepped up, man. They just kind of looked around and tried to pick her up off the ground, but nobody stepped up and nobody really said anything. And that's the problem right now. They definitely need to do better over there, man. But they need to do a whole new reboot over there with the Fever. But yeah, we'll talk about that another day.
Absolutely. All right, what else you got for us, Hugh?
I want to talk about some of the things that was going on yesterday as far as the NBA Finals, man. And your opinion on because I know that we talked about, but we never really made our predictions before this show. And I'm still looking at it like, well, yeah, even though Boston came out with a good game, I still feel like, man, the only way I would be convinced that they will win it all, and I'm not even trying to be funny. You probably laugh when I say this. They had to go up 3-1 like Dallas did against Minnesota for me to actually start to say, okay, yeah, they have a chance because, you never had the same Boston Celtics team all the time. That was a Boston Celtics team that you rarely see. But the one thing I did like about this NBA Final Game 1, and I've noticed that the aggressiveness and that enforcer now has been Jaylen Brown on the team. He always been a great scorer, but now he got that enforcer mentality and that leadership role that Marcus Smart had. And that's the reason why we still scuffle with Boston too. Like, who's going to be that man who's going to take over and who's going to be the guy when they need him the most? And as of late, it has been Jaylen Brown. But I definitely was surprised too at how well Kristaps Porzingis played too. Definitely after coming off the injury, he looked like he ain't missed a beat. And it was just really good play. And I just feel like Boston's at home, so they basically did their job. Even if they went up 2-0, they won they did their job because they at home and you're supposed to protect your home turf. But with those guys, man, you see a lot of Jekyll and Hyde too. They'll win game 1 and then just won't show up game 2, get blew out the gym. We've seen that before. He ended up getting blew out by like 30 points at home. So, yeah, I'm not really still convinced with them, even though they had a pretty good game plan. And game 1, you had 22 points from Jaylen Brown and 20 from Kristaps Porzingis, and the role players actually played good and did their roles. But I just still feel like right now this could easily be a series that could go to 6-7 games. But from my opinion, I just feel like when it comes to the finals, all that they have to do is get those role players on the Dallas Mavericks to, understand it is still coming back, if you get down by so much, and they need to step up and they need to play better, like, because you didn't really get much from P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford, Lively, a lot of them guys didn't really step up like they should. I remember in that huddle, though, I don't know if you heard when Jason Kidd was pissed off and he said, man, y'all need to act like y'all been here before. And then he had to pause, like, oh shit, they haven't been here before. Only me as a player and who now is a coach, and Kyrie has been here. Nobody else has been there. You know, you had guys who was in a situation like Gapper was in Washington, and then you had, PJ Washington came from Charlotte, so they're not used to being in that situation. But I definitely think that they'll have some adjustments and they'll be ready for game 2.
Okay, y'all. Well, I do apologize for the in and out of the sound. Not quite sure what's going on with that. But here's the thing. I'm assuming, Hugh, that game 1 aside, you still picking Dallas to win this series?
Yeah, Boston got to show me, man. Still.
Okay. Now, of course, there's a lot of people that feel like you because, of course, the simple fact of the matter is Dallas has had the tougher road. They've beaten the better teams in the playoff, first of all. Second of all, yes, Boston has shown some cracks in the armor at times. But for all the things that you would point out, and keep in mind, he actually did point out several things he thought on his Guru's Perspective that is out now. Please check that out on Spotify. There are a few things that you also need to consider. One, Boston had the best record in the league. Plain and simple. That means, yes, they beat teams like Dallas, and they did beat Dallas in the regular season. So there's that. Two, yeah, they had the easier route. Injuries and stuff played a part in that, true enough. But also, I feel like they have the better team. They had the best defense in the NBA this year. They were the best 3-point percentage shooting team in the league. Both of those things did come into play in game 1, as you saw, based on the aggressive nature of the defense, based on the fact that Porzingis looks pretty healthy, all things being considered. And then you have to consider the fact that unlike Dallas, who really ain't been there before outside of Kyrie and J. Kidd, most of the people on that Boston squad actually have been there before in recent times. All those things are to their advantage, more to their detriment. Yes, we do know Boston tends to fall asleep at the wheel sometimes. It has happened in the course of the regular season. It has happened in the playoffs in the past. But I think because of that, they are now more committed than ever to winning. And then the one thing that I definitely need to point out is the fact that their quote-unquote best player, because that's up for discussion, Jason Tatum is in a contract year. And him getting the super max money is pretty contingent on him winning this NBA title. Not to mention him being MVP, which if you were making that vote today, he would be at least 3rd in the vote. And that's not good. Actually, 4th if you consider Luka. But anyway, all those things being said, I did pick Boston in 6. I wasn't overly confident with it, but I still feel like, especially after what I saw last night, Boston is the team that should win this series. Will they win this series? I think so. I'm basically was like 65% sure going into game 1. I'm more like 85% sure now. I get where Hugh and several other people and some of their opinions on the whole Boston thing. And like I said, if Jason Kidd was the coach of Boston, it wouldn't even be an issue in my mind. It'd be a given they was winning. I'd be thinking about that broom and everything. But because it's Joe Mazzulla, and I still feel like, though he is a good coach, he does have times where his coaching decisions are questionable. There's that to consider. But all things considered, I still say Boston wins this series. And if they manage to win game 2, it's looking that much better. And obviously, they win game 3, it's over. So, but yeah, I'm still going with Boston.
The way they attacked Kristaps Porzingis, I didn't think was smart, man. He a 7'3" shot blocker, and they were trying to attack the rim. And I said, damn, that's where I kind of figured that they was going to be rattled. The young guys in general, I said, yeah, they're definitely going to be rattled because you cannot do that and think that you're going to dunk on or take advantage of him. Yeah, he's a small dude, but he get a lot of block shots, man. And you played into his game. You didn't try to take him off the dribble or take him out deep or, set him up to where you could get the easy alley-oop dunks that you was getting. And yeah, I looked at that and I said that's room for disaster. And it was pretty interesting to see how everything played out. But yeah, all in all, it was like I was really surprised that they came out with that type of energy. And what I liked about it too was the fact that since they've been there before, they had like a lead when they was playing Golden State, and then they let that lead slip away, and they lost that series. Jaylen Brown wasn't impressed, man, when they were, happy and, celebrating game one. He said, don't get too cute, y'all, man. There's only one game. We still got 3 games to play. So, you need to scratch that out your head and scratch that out your memory right now. And let's focus on getting on together for game two. Because I know they doing the same thing. So we got to focus on our game two game. I definitely like his mentality and what he's bringing to the table right now. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Boston won, but like you said, I've been scoring so many times thinking they were going to do something, and they basically just didn't handle business. Like we said before in the passes, M.A. Udoka was the coach. They would definitely, I feel like, go like game 5, or maybe possibly pulling out the brooms on Dallas. But with the coaching inconsistencies, that's why I'm in doubt at. That's a big fact, even though they had a great game 1 plan.
Well, good people. Like I said, we got game 2 coming up. It's in Boston. I won't say it's a must win for Dallas. I don't really think that way, but I do think you definitely got to have a better showing than you did in game 1.
Yeah.
If game 2 is even worse than game 1, then you already know what time it is.
Yeah. At least make it close if y'all do lose. And then basically we could just say, Boston Celtics did their job. They won at home. That was what they're supposed to do. But yeah, you got to at least make it look cleaner than that. And Kyrie basically struggled too, even though he made some efforts. But yeah, you've seen the whole team struggle besides Luka. Luka was gonna get his, and that's what I'm thinking now. That might be their game plan. Like, we gonna try to do our best to keep Luka from going crazy, but at the same time stopping the role players. And that's what it seemed like the game plan was, because even though Luka still got like 30 and 10, it's like the rest of the guys didn't show up, the supporting cast, and he need that supporting cast way more than Boston needed theirs right now. And yeah, that's going to be still interesting for me to watch. I'm going to definitely see what's up in game 2 before I say, yeah, what's going to happen the rest of the series. But yeah, I just don't have enough faith in Boston, though. That's just, me speaking from experience.
Yeah, like I said, this is very consistent. If you notice, the sports guru is usually very consistent with his opinions when it comes to certain teams and certain players. He's basically have doubted Boston for quite some time now, and Boston, it's on y'all to prove him wrong, plain and simple. So I get why he feels that way. But like I said, push come to shove, more times than not, he been right. I just think that this time you're not gonna be. Again, not 100% feeling that. Usually when I feel it, I'll talk my ish. I ain't ready to go full throttle on beat Celtics right now, but I like the direction it's headed in. One key point that I will point out is look for what happens with the 3-point shooting between these two teams. Last night in game 1, the Dallas Mavericks shot 7 for 27 from 3-point lane. Boston shot 16 of 42. So in the end, if this becomes that, and I do think at times in this series, you're going to see way too many 3-pointers being shot.
Pretty much.
That's going to be the tail of the tape. The games that Boston does not shoot well from 3, those are more likely to be the ones that they lose. The games where Luka is making 8 and 9 3-pointers, those will be more likely the games that Dallas wins.
All right. I want to talk about some stuff that happened too over the last few days or so with the guys in the NFL. What's kind of surprised me, because it's kind of been real slow right now. It's been to the point where it's been so slow that we haven't really been getting much, as far as news until just late. We already was set and we was happy for what happened with our Detroit Lions. But then, of course, we knew it was only going to be a matter of time before one of the better wide receivers in the game got his bag, and that's Justin Jefferson. He got a nice little contract, 4 year, 140 million, like 110 million guaranteed, and 89 million to be him signing on the dotted line, the signing bonus. And I definitely felt like that was something that was well deserved. And it's good too that they have like a quarterback like a JJ McCarthy, because he's a rookie, so they can work on before they actually give him his money. But I want to know too, do you think that when it comes to this deal, this is like me talking about Justin Jefferson deal and how it's going to impact the Dallas Cowboys. I was about to say Mavericks, but yeah, this is definitely going to affect them really big time, because what I've been noticing too, and I've been hearing a lot of talking heads talk about this too as well. You might be able to pay two of the guys, but you ain't gonna be able to pay all three. I'm just saying. And you already know where I'm coming from. You either gonna sign Dak Prescott and Mekhi Parsons, or you gonna sign Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, but you ain't gonna be able to sign all three. Do you think in this situation, after Justin Jefferson got his contract, would you think that who do you think that they will actually go with if they had to right now? We're not even going to include Mekhi Parsons. Do you think that they would go ahead and re-sign Dak Prescott after him getting a couple of big paydays, or go with a nice size contract for CD Lamb, because he's going to want something close to or even better than Justin Jefferson's numbers, And if he could get Justin Jefferson numbers, he will. But I just don't think that's going to be the case right now in Dallas, because I think they'd rather keep Dak than keep CD Lamb, which wouldn't make no sense to me, but it's the truth.
Okay, good people. First of all, let's make sure that Justin Jefferson, thanks that dude known as Amon-Ra St. Brown, because he got what he got. That helped set the market for what you should get. Because in the end, are you a better wide receiver overall than Amon-Ra? Yeah, I understand. I'm Detroit and I'm biased, but I got to keep it real. Yes, you are. You are the best receiver in the National Football League, not named Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill. Okay? That being said, remember, Tyreek Hill now sees this contract. He wants more money. Not a surprise. Jamar Chase, he up next. If he got 34 and I show out this season, you know what I'm expecting. And I ain't trying to hear about no, we need T. Higgins. Give me mine. And that's going to be a lot difficult to do in Cincinnati. I'm surprised they paid Joe Burrow what they paid him.
Yeah, anyway, pretty much.
Back to your question about Dallas. Are we not forgetting a couple very important factors here? Who is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys?
Don't even matter at this point, because he ain't keeping everybody.
It actually does matter, Hugh. He is Jerry Jones, correct?
Correct, but you think he gonna pay that at $60 million per year?
Hear me out,
and
homie.
Mekhi and him.
Hear me out, homie. All right, Jerry Jones is how old?
I don't know, 90 something probably.
He might as well be. Bottom line is his days is few. Okay, we all know this. Jerry wants to win real bad. Okay, he wants to see one more ring before he enters the upper room. All right. That being said, he is not going to sit and idly have Dallas rebuild. It's not happening. There will be no rebuild of the Dallas Cowboys. So this narrative where, yeah, we're going to try to sign all three and see if we can get them on a little cheaper, that ain't happening, okay? In an ideal world, if you do not want to start over, you have two options, Jerry Jones. Either you sign Dak Prescott to something close to that $60 million, or you basically tell him, look, Dak, you got to get into the Super Bowl. If you don't, we're going to work out somewhere. We trade you or whatever, but you got to go. But I ain't about to start over either. So that being said, in an ideal world where your owner is in their 50s and 60s and a lot more patient and not trying to run everything and micromanage everything like Jerry Jones does with the Cowboys, this ain't even an issue. It's like, look, Dad, it's been 8 years. You ain't got us nowhere. It's either Super Bowl, championship, or bust. If you don't get championship, you don't get paid. In most scenarios, that's what it should be. Because it's Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, and they like to be messy, and Jerry likes to run everything his way, it's still in the realm of possibility. That being said, he ain't did it yet, so maybe he's reconsidering that. He could pay that brother right now if he chose to. It ain't like you don't have the money. It ain't like they can't do some salary cap reconfiguration and whatnot. But then you also have to consider, if you pay that man now and you don't pay the other two now, you know it's some team chemistry issues with the Cowboys as it is. That definitely will not help them. And also got to give credit to credit is due. NFL, you continue to lead the narrative in sports, even though it is summertime and we shouldn't even be thinking about no damn NFL. This still manages to be a major topic, not only on this show, but all the other major sports shows, because the NFL got it like that.
They definitely should have it like that, because every time you turn around, what you're seeing is them just changing everything, man. And I just feel like the advertisement probably happens all the time, best versus some other promotions, like just the draft in general. Most time people don't really too much care about drafts like that. I mean, I'm not gonna be locked in on an NBA draft like that. I like the WNBA draft because we knew a lot of the chicks coming out of college. We wanted to see who went where, and kind of figured we knew where most of them was gonna go, but it don't really.
And yeah, I'm glad you. Let me jump in here right quick, you. Speaking of marketing, the WNBA is doing an excellent job of doing that as well. I would say if you can afford it, get that WNBA app. If you see how they market the game, if you see how even when they do the commercial breaks, when you're watching the games on the WNBA app, they go back to the flashbacks. So you learn about some of the older players in the league. They go back to people's rookie seasons when they got drafted. They even do the little fashion show every night. I love that basically now every day they show people coming into the stadium and what they got on. And, if you are a designer and you basically design clothes for larger women, it's time for you to get on. It's time for you to get in touch with some of these ladies and be like, hey, I got some clothes for you. You gonna wear my stuff? You have it for free. Let's make this money together.
A lot of them women were doing or getting free promotions too, man. I forgot the one girl. Man.
Smart.
She was a lot, man. She had like an Adidas outfit with the nice little Adidas kicks that went with it, the jewelry, and
right.
most times they'll ask you who was the designer, or they'll ask you things of that nature, and want to know how much you paid for it. It's like, man, I was giving this stuff. All of this was for free. This
right.
Advertising their product.
Right. I mean, just between Angel Reese and Cameron Brink alone, some of the outfits they wore to games, awesome.
It's been pretty good over there too, as far as the competitiveness, man. I just want to know your opinion too, man. Since we kind of got on that topic, man, I think that the Connecticut Suns will be able to keep this up, man, because I'm being on and DeWanda Bonner, man, she's been like the anchor over there. She's been leading that team to their undefeated record, and I feel like everybody else contribute too, but most times when you look up, if you've been looking on the page, when I put up the scores and different things of that nature, she's been one of the top performers like half the time. Like the games that they're undefeated 9-0, I think she was the top performer like 5 or 6 times in those games. So do you think they'll be able to keep that up? And do you think that they'll be on the cusp of, since there's not as many games, too, having 9 games won under their belt is already incredible. But do you think that that'll give them an opportunity to jockey for, like, being in a championship?
Okay, well, since you brought that up, this is this week's WNBA regular season standings as of today, Friday. Like you mentioned, Connecticut is the only team undefeated in the W right now. And the one team you don't see, of course, is You watch the Mystics, who are the only team who has not won in the W. Whole nother story. But okay, going back to that, I found out something that I didn't even know until a couple of days ago. I think I sent you that information. The fact that DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas are not only the two best players on the Connecticut Sun, but did you also know they were a couple in real life?
I knew that.
I did not know that.
I definitely knew.
I mean,
because
team chemistry a whole nother level with that.
Because I've seen them a lot, and you know how I mean the walk-in, when they do the walk-in and then they kind of advertise their clothes and stuff. Every time they walk in, they might take their pictures separately, but most times they'll be walking in together holding hands. And then I seen I think it was like something that she gave her a shout out recently, because I follow WNBA on Instagram, and she was like, this is my whole world, and she was talking about like that's what's she talking? But then I looked and I was like, oh, that's one of my words. So that's when I was like, man, I didn't know they were, a couple until like earlier in the season. But yeah, I definitely was surprised myself. But that's one thing I could say too for the LGBTQ community. They definitely represented well. It's not no hesitation. It's not no shame to, them being out open and being couples, but it's been actually pretty interesting to see too, that like not only just their relationship chemistry, but just the chemistry on the basketball court, man. And that team being 9-0 right now is starting to really surprise everyone, because them being undefeated right now, and even the best teams that we like, the Liberty and the Aces lost 2 games, but yeah, it's been pretty good this year, man. It's as far as how they've been playing this year, because some of the games was close, but it seems like in crunch time they always find a way, and yeah, they deserve all their flowers right now. But as far as the championship, man, I don't know. I'm like, can they continue to keep this up, man? Because they're playing at a hell of a pace right now.
Well, like I said, I love their team chemistry. I think you definitely can equate team chemistry to what the records are right now in the league. I mean, again, let me throw that statistic back up. I mean, New York Liberty, Connecticut Sun, 2 teams that are basically full of veterans, teams that have been together for a minute. When you talk about their core players, you see Vegas is 4th right now. They have a team that's been together for quite some time for the most part. And, they just add their bits and pieces, and that has made them the better teams in the league. You're starting to see now, like I said, when you look at what happened this weekend with Chicago Sky, it seemed to be something that kind of brought them together even more so. And since then, they've been playing some pretty good ball. So I'm curious to see how their team chemistry helps to bring them. Like I said, I do believe that the Sky will not only make the playoffs, but they'll be like that 6th seed. Right now, they 7th in the league, so they right about on schedule. But going back to Connecticut, yeah, they definitely are the best team in the league right now. I say right behind them, I would put Vegas, and maybe slightly behind them is New York. But again, last year, this is where we were. They were the 3 best teams in the league this time last year, too.
Yeah, I still feel like it's going to be a lot of parity. And I want to know this, too. You already know how it is. This is football, basketball, hockey, any sport. This always be the case. When they lose that first game, how they're going to be able to handle it? Will they be able to rebound and gain their composure, or will they just, start to just get to the point where they just start drifting away? That happens every time, man, where you see a team have momentum and they lose that one game, and it seems like it kind of knock the confidence out of them, and then they just start to filter off.
I don't think that's going to be the case with Connecticut. Remember, last year, who had the best record in the league?
They did.
No, the Aces did. But being said, out of the 5 losses I think they had, how many of them were to Connecticut?
Yeah, they did. Man, did they lose 2 to Connecticut and they lost 2 to 3? I know they lost 2 to Liberty too.
Yeah, they lost to Liberty as well.
Yeah, Liberty had their number in the regular season, but in the playoffs, that was totally different. Remember, I was thinking that might be a little momentum change in the playoffs, but yeah, Vegas, man, well, all they got to do is just get there. And if they get there, man, they'll definitely figure a way. And when you say team chemistry, man, it'd be cool to see them, man. It's just the stuff they be doing, and I wouldn't go without saying I definitely like how Kate Martin fitting in because she was one of the people that I remember we had that talk on the draft night, but you was like, man, she was there just to support Caitlin Clark, man. She didn't even supposed to be drafted. I'm surprised she got drafted. She got drafted and to one of the best teams in the league, the Aces, and then the chemistry they have and just the way she played, man. Some of the rookies are not struggling, but having their struggles, fitting in or getting to where they need to be right now in the WNBA. And off limited minutes, man, I feel like Kate Martin been playing well, and I've been seeing like a lot of the stuff on the WNBA app, and I follow the Aces too, so it's cool how they do like because they gave her a little birthday gift and they had fun and played around with her. And then when they went to dinner, man, they pranked her and left her like they was gonna leave her in Dallas with the bus. I thought that's cool, man. That builds a lot of chemistry. And somebody said that I think that she's having way more fun now that she's in the pros than what she did in Iowa. And I said, well, yeah, I said, you could definitely figure that because there's grown women and they're treating you like they're little sisters. So, yeah, they're going to kind of bully you and give you a little hazing, but their hazes ain't going to be nothing crazy. It's just them, doing pranks and, doing things of that nature. But at the same time, I just like their camaraderie too, man. They're just a team that you see and you see what you get. It ain't no sugarcoat, so, yeah.
Right, because in the end, leadership matters. And we know the two main leaders on that Aces team is, of course, Asia Wilson, who undoubtedly, if MVP vote was today, definitely would be the MVP without question. And then, of course, the point guard herself, C. Gray, who, when she finally does get back into the lineup, gonna make a very, very good team that much better.
Yep, and that's what they're missing right now. Once they get her back, it's trouble because, man, Asia Wilson had like 36 in the last 7 games, 36-12. 28-9, 29-15, 29-15, 21-13, 22-10. And the last game she had was 30-13. And she sprinkled in a couple of assists here and there, but then she averaged like 2 to 3 blocks. A few games she may have got a block here and there, but I think that she took it personal when she felt like she was supposed to win MVP before, kind of like if you want to put it in an NBA point of view, when Embiid took it personal when he felt like he was supposed to get the MVP and he didn't get it. That's how she felt when Breanna Stewart got it at that time, and she's definitely making the case right now. But I am interested in seeing what's going to happen the rest of the year too. And like you said, the year is so short, but yeah, man, I definitely hope that we be able to see and witness soon that the Mystics win, man, because even in a losing effort, man, your girl really balled out the other day. Leah Edwards, she clowned, man. I said, whoa, she was blocking shots. You see how comfortable she got, man, like shooting from the perimeter. She has one of the best perimeter games out of the rookies too, man. That's something that I'm looking for, man, and I think alone that's going to help the Mystics, man, because, yeah, you kind of feel bad for them. I feel bad for them like I did for the Fever. But, man, it ain't nowhere near as bad because, like you said, they're like 0-10 right now, aren't they?
Yep. Jesus. Now, here's the thing, Hugh. And since we want to do some predictions, I give you one to predict. There is that game tonight. The only game this week that the Indiana Fever is playing. For those of you who've been saying that the Fever's schedule been kind of unfair with them having 7 games in 11 days, they didn't pretty much had the week off until tonight. And tonight, who do they play? The 0-10 Mystics. Is this the night that they pull it off?
They possibly can.
Remember, that's the Mystics playing on a back-to-back.
They possibly can, man. I'm going to definitely keep my eye on it, though, man, because I want to see what happened. It's going to be pretty interesting because you feel bad for them. It's like how people cheer for the underdog.
I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup between Aaliyah Boston and Aaliyah Edwards in the post tonight. Yeah. That should be real interesting. And again, her being such a decent post player and whatnot, I'm not surprised by any of that. I've been watching Aaliyah Edwards since the beginning pretty much.
But her perimeter game is just like dead on, though, man. So that's something we wanted Aaliyah Boston to have, and she needs to get better at. But
absolutely,
Aaliyah Edwards already
I would say that. Right now, she right up there with Leah Thomas and of course Breanna Stewart in terms of bigs with a good overall game post wide. I mean, because keep in mind, Leah Edwards, she can shoot the three too. She's shot a few of those at UConn. So basically, anything that these UConn players do aren't no surprise to me. You know, I've been following UConn for the better part of 25 years now. Yeah. So I'm very.
It's cool too to kind of look at the game a little more and start to study it more too, man. Because it actually is great to see a lot of the eye candy too. Because Leah Edwards, she definitely cleaned up well for the draft, man. And it'd be cool to see a lot of these nice looking sisters when they be, you know, doing pictures, man. When they be,
right. I mean, and then you know, like I said, when you get to see some of the younger versions of themselves when they do some of the flashbacks, some of these people done got into some incredible shape since they didn't join the W. Oh, one more thing I do want to point out when we talk about this whole thing involving the brutality of players and whatnot, you do realize that almost 85% of the WNBA, when they're not playing in the WNBA, plays in other leagues across the world, leagues that are far tougher and physical than the WNBA. Y'all do know that, right?
That definitely don't surprise me.
And make more money doing so, I might add.
That was the whole debacle on what happened with old girl,
Brittany Griner,
Brittany Griner, man. We didn't want her to go over there, man. She had to make more money, and when she went over there, man, just one slip up, man, and they try to keep her hostage pretty much after what was kind of going on.
There wasn't no try. They did keep her hostage.
That changed her whole life after that, man. So yeah, I wish that they definitely did when we talk about them Rays, man. You know, get them better paid, man, so they don't have to go all overseas and do all that stuff to try to make a living. And it's so crazy.
Keep in mind, that was a national story for months and months, but that didn't bring the WNBA the type of attention that it has now. So again, it's something to think about.
Yeah, got a point there.
Brittany Griner is definitely somebody who, if you mention them to basic person A, they know that she's a basketball player in the W. But you know, outside of her and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and maybe Taurasi, who else do basic person A know in the W going into the season, man?
Before we wrap it up, too, E, do you want to take a break? Because the last thing I basically want to talk about is something that we haven't really been talking about as much. And it was like the baseball season, and it ain't even going to be breaking down everything. I just want to talk about how the two Titans are going against each other. This started today, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. I'm looking forward to seeing that series.
Two of the best teams the league have at it. You know I'm down for that discussion. But yeah, let's take a commercial break. When we come back to the Sports Guru Sports Perspective, we're going to talk my favorite sport, young baseball. All righty. Before that, let's say a good happy birthday shout out to the birthday girl, Aunt Nikki. Happy birthday, Aunt Nikki.
Happy birthday.
Aunt Nikki. Let's talk.
Hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish the key. And you're dishing to darlings with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish to with Big Meat. It's time to dish to with Big Meat. It's time to dish to with Big Meat. It's time to dish to with Big Meat.
Darling.
Hold up.
Hey, y'all, we are back. This is the Sports Guru Sports Perspective. I'm your co-host, E-Buck, and the man again with the master plan is that brother Hugh Lee, and he said he wants to talk about the great American pastime. No, not football, baseball.
Yeah, man. I don't think it's a lot at stake right now. This is the earlier part of the season. But right now, I'm a little nervous. I give a slight advantage to the Dodgers because they got their full squad. When I heard about what happened to Juan Soto yesterday, I said, dang, man, this is at the wrong time. And it's the game when they got to play the Dodgers. They actually handed the Dodgers more loss. I think last year they played like a 3-game series and they won 2 of the 3 games. But yeah, man, I think right now what's been making the Yankees click and more explosive is the fact that they already had the hitters, but then you see Giancarlo hitting well and he's healthy. Then you had Judge and Soto, those 3 in that lineup. Him being injured is something that I was like, oh, that might be a problem. But I still want to see where this game goes because I want to see where both teams are at right now. Because depends on after this series, we're gonna have one team that's gonna be buyers, and then I definitely don't believe none of them are gonna be sellers. But I'm just seeing as far as the standpoint of they're going to probably buy either, like for instance, the Yankees, they probably buy more pitching and might look for another bat or a reliever, which they would be good if they did. But I don't really feel like Dodgers really need no bats, but they might need a little bit more relief pitching, or I would even say they could get like an extra hitter. You never know, but this series is going to determine what they're going to be buying, though. And speaking of that, too, the trade deadline is going to be around like July the 30th. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that too, and I will have like a podcast about that. But then we're even going to talk about it too on the show. I would definitely be interested in like trade deadlines of who we think going to be buyers and sellers, and because we already know a lot of people are going to be on the trade market too, and I know want to give a shout out to Rose, but then it's unfortunate, but them damn New York Mets, man, I'd be shocked if they're not sellers this year.
Well, again, I don't agree so much with what you're saying, my friend. This should be a good series, obviously, 2 of the better teams in baseball. But remember, these teams are not even whole yet. They are missing very key people that they should be getting back very soon. For the Yankees, they don't even have their best pitcher. The current Cy Young Award winner, Derek Cole, has yet to even pitch for the Yankees this season. But he is in rehab right now. And they say after probably a couple more starts down there in the minors, he on his way up. They ain't going to do nothing but already help one of the better starting pitching staffs in all of baseball this year.
Not only that, but one of the best teams right now because they got one of the better records.
And then on the side of the Dodgers, remember, they are without their former Cy Young Award winner, that being Clayton Kershaw, who's on his way back up from the minors. So when you throw him into a lineup that's already doing very well, that's going to make them that much better. So much so that perhaps trade deadline, they both stand put with what they got.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get any more, though, man. It's an opportunity out there.
I mean, bottom line, if you're the Dodgers, why on earth should you need anything else? After all the damn money you done spent this offseason, I wouldn't be looking to get nothing else.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money, man. They just better both teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers. It's not just the Yankees thing. Now it's the Dodgers thing. We've seen it happen too many times before. They spin, and they be out early. So, yeah, man, hopefully this translates into both of their seasons too, man, because this series don't really mean much, but it is some bragging right to it. But what I like too is just a lot of good baseball coming up, and then we're gonna hear a lot of rambling about people who's going to be, getting switched teams. Because like we thought Pete Alonso was gone last year. I'm really interested in seeing where that man go. Because he's definitely not gonna be there.
Right, and then of course, would not be surprised though when trade deadline comes to see what type of moves the Phillies and the Braves make, particularly the Braves, since they of course have lost the Acuna for the year. And you mentioned in your brilliant podcast known as the Guru's Perspective that Toronto is considering trading some of what they got, including the great Vlad Guerrero Jr. Imagine throwing him on that Braves squad.
or Bo Bichette, man. It's a lot of dudes.
Right. And then putting him in that Phillies lineup wouldn't even be fair.
I'm surprised that Philly even came off as well. You predicted, you thought they were going to have the best record in that division, but I didn't think they was going to be doing this well. And you can
No,
kind of
I
see
didn't think
the
they were
real
gonna play
struggle.
this well. I agree.
You see the struggles with Atlanta too. And they need a replacement for Ronald Acuna because he's an electric dude. He a leadoff hitter who can get you home runs and one of the best defenders. That couldn't happen at a worse time, man, with him getting hurt. So, they need to really pull off something. They're going to have to get a really good, outfielder, man, replace that dude.
Right. And then, like I said, when you consider the whole Mike Trout thing, I think if Shohei Ohtani basically finds himself in that same boat 2-3 years from now, with him constantly being hurt, I think that's going to be the end of us seeing teams basically make that big commitment 9-10 years high for something million.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing it anymore. I think
They're
they're going to go to the NBA model and just do the 5 supermax type deal.
Mm-hmm. I can see that too, man. I don't see them doing the 10 years no more, man, because 10 years is too long, too, man. And we've seen that where the players will be playing well and they be in their prime, and after that 10th year, they be almost a shell of themselves. Like, for instance, Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols, not taking away from their legendary careers, but you've seen that happen with them.
Right, and then you definitely got to say that Anaheim has definitely not got their money's worth from Trout. Not at all.
Not at all, man. It's been a disappointment. It seemed like the year after he got that contract, he just can't stay healthy anymore.
Right. Even the money that the Dodgers have spent on Clay Kershaw over the years, it should kind of be discounted when you think about the fact that every year he hurt too.
And he'll play well in the regular season and get dinged up in the playoffs. It's like it's always something in the playoffs. He have his woes. So,
right.
It's pretty
I mean,
interesting.
we can even go back a few years, back when young Alec Rodriguez was a member of the Yankees, and then all the stuff happened with him. They didn't get their money's worth either.
Not really. One championship wasn't enough when you kept paying that man because they paid him 2 max contracts,
Absolutely.
Remember, they gave him like 100 and almost 80 million, then 275 million, and it did. He won a championship, but that didn't translate on the money that they was paying that man though.
Right. Okay. Well, since we on baseball, let me throw a couple quick things in there and let me get your opinion. What's going on with the Rangers?
What I think they have a championship slump. What's weird about it too is most times it be the team like the Arizona Diamondbacks, the ones who usually struggle. They are kind of struggling. They haven't been over 500 yet, but they've been playing better and they've been trying to catch on to that 500 cusp. But I was surprised that the Rangers is like that too, man. They're not even over 500 right now, and we got to them again.
The thing that surprised me is not really a pitching that's the issue. Because, of course, we're waiting for Matt Scherzer to come back, and we might see DeGrom at some point this year. But, no, they pitching been all right. It's basically the hitting that ain't been hitting.
Yeah, which is surprised me.
Of course, a couple folks.
That surprised me because I thought they'd be hitting a whole lot better. But, it's been struggles with them. And surprising enough, too, they're starting to dig themselves out of their hole. But the Houston Astros, man, has been a shell of themselves this year, too.
Well, they've been better for the better part of a decade now. It was bound to happen to them sooner or later.
Yeah, I was just really surprised. It's just looking at some of the stuff that's been going on that was been translated in baseball. And if I'm mistaken, the Cardinals are still struggling, which we usually know them playing better like the second part of the year, but they're kind of close because they're like that. I gotta see. I'm trying to see what's going on with their standings because they might be like a couple games under 500, or they might be on a 500 cusp. But no, they're not nowhere near what they supposed to be right now, and they got a lot of big people on their payroll too. When they signed Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, man, I'm not surprised too if they don't, get rid of one of those guys.
Right now, St. Louis as of today is 29-32, and Goldsmith, he's been struggling. I'm surprised.
He have been. He's been
hitting bad. We talking about somebody that's basically a career 300 hitter hitting under 230. But yeah, even as bad as he struggled, I'm really surprised at where we are in a situation with our Tigers and former overall #1 pick Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, it's time to let him, try to see if we can trade him. But nah, he can't stay here, man. But the thing is, what pissed me off too, he was a 5th overall pick. Who else was it?
He was the #1 overall pick, Hugh. The #1 pick in the draft that year.
But who?
I think you're confusing him with Riley Green. Riley Green was the #5 pick.
Okay. But just think about it though. He basically was supposed to have been better than Riley Green, who was the 5th overall, and he was the #1 overall top prospect, but he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He supposed to be doing what Bobby Witt Jr. doing right now.
Absolutely
close. So I think it's time for us to cut our losses with him because I don't think he's going to be that player that we expected. Last year he had glimpses of doing well, but no, I just don't think he's that guy. It's time
right.
For us to figure out something else.
Let me shout out 97.1 The Ticket here in Detroit. The narrative that several of your people seem to keep bringing up about trading Tarek Skubal to get some hitting.
Idiots.
Complete asininity. Flat out. Just dumb. Dumb discussion. Every time I hear it, I turn. No, I can't. I can't listen to that foolishness.
Ain't no way, man. We just starting to get decent pitching, man.
Have we not learned from our past mistakes of trading away all our goodies? The Justin Verlanders, the
championships, other places.
Right. We're not reliving that again. Sorry.
No, man, they need to get some more bats over there, man. At least try to get some veteran bats or something, man. See what we can do because kind of disappointed in how things have been going on. And it's funny too, because I went to a game like a couple weeks ago, and it was crazy because I didn't expect to go. And we went, they had a pretty good outing. That's when it was the doubleheader, and we watched the first game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I knew they was gonna lose that second game, man. Well, my boy changed his mind. He said, "Nah, man, I want to go to the first game." And I said, "Okay, cool," because it looked like it was gonna rain that day again. But the weather ended up holding up. But we ended up seeing who was gonna be the pitcher in that second game, and I said, "Yeah, they're definitely gonna lose this game because Paul Skeens is on pitching." And yeah, that game wasn't so good. I think they lost 10-2.
And it wasn't even that close. We ain't gonna talk about how you went to the game without me, but that's another story.
Yeah, that was right. Last minute hookup.
That's all right. You know what it is. It's cool. But yeah, Tigers do better, plain and simple. I mean, the shock of everything right now is the person that's leading the league in the Central is Cleveland, and they actually 40-21.
Yeah, they have one of the better records. I didn't think that, but Jose Ramirez has been clowning too. Hey, I got something to tell you too that you might want to keep your eye on too, since it's only one WNBA game. Kind of check out and see what's going on in baseball too, because since the infamous incident, this is the first time Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson gonna be facing off against each other. So yeah, I want to see what's up with that because I want to know if there's still any intensity going on with it. But I don't think he wants that smoke with Jose though, man. Right. Not after that first meeting, because he ain't been the same since he rocked him that game. Look at his stats. He after that.
Okay, well, no, allow me to correct you, my brother. Keep in mind, by the time y'all start watching this evening, we'll be into one of the games already, the one we mentioned with Indiana and Washington. But it's actually 4 games tonight in the W, and you can catch every last one of them on Ion TV. If you do have that in your cable package or your good old stick. If not, then of course, if you have the WNBA app, you can watch all those games as well. If not, then fear not. When they all are over, go to your YouTube and type in WNBA, and it will show all the little quick highlights of the games, much like they do with all the other major sports. I know you're about ready to wrap it up here, but gotta ask you, you football guru that you are, UFL playoffs this weekend. You gonna watch?
But definitely check it out, man. And I feel like the way the season went was kind of a waste. It's like, damn, man, you guys got to do better as far as, getting it together to what we can put it into the playoffs. Because we was looking at, I'm like, damn, they still playing. I thought that they was ready for the playoffs, and they still played 3 weeks after, we thought that they were going to be in the playoffs. But I hope they do a little better on that and getting that together. But other than that, the strength of schedule going to be pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm going to definitely check it out. And I like how they basically did just the season in general. Was a lot of theatrics, but yeah, they got to advertise a little better and do better when it comes to the games, when it comes to the playoffs. Because like you said, we already knew who was in the playoffs like 3 weeks before the season was out, and then it was like they still was playing, and I'm like, well, dang, I thought it was playoff time. So yeah, I think that they need to, do a little better as far as the advertisement on getting that together. But other than that, man, it hasn't really been that bad. It's been something that if you miss football and wanted to watch football, to check out. And you know me, I'm counting down the days, man, because when the July the 30th trade deadline happened in the MLB game, you already know what's next, man. August the 1st, man, we got that Hall of Fame game.
Absolutely. And shout out to all you guys that are gamers. It's coming, y'all. The EA Sports new NCAA football game next month, July 15th. Get ready. They say it's going to change everything. Can't wait.
Definitely looking forward to that, man. Haven't had no NCAA game in like forever.
Right. And for those of you who like to play games on your mobile phone, rumor has it there will be a mobile version of the game as well, Hugh.
That's cool. Definitely give me something to do.
All righty. Well, it's on you. What we doing from here, man? We ending it up? What's good?
Yeah, like to tell y'all, for the people who didn't know, as far as my highlights, you can go and check me out on Hoovy on Instagram. And, I do the same thing as far as my highlights and my stories on TikTok, and that's Hugh.Lee6. And of course, my platform for Facebook is Sportsguru to you. And you can catch me on the Guru's Perspective every Tuesday at 1:00 on Spotify. And of course, you can catch me every Wednesday. Today was a special day. We ended up doing it Friday. But, you can catch me there every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Guru's Sports. Basically the Guru Sports Session.
And of course, if you're trying to find any of that, you basically can go to the IG page that was mentioned and look up the links, and it will give you all of this.
Yeah, I have it on IG and Facebook. So if you want to look up any of the extra stuff and see what you want to check out, like the different pages, definitely appreciate that. Eh?
Oh, no problem. And then, of course, like I said, you'll hear this on the first part of this, but I'll tell you again, I am going to start doing a bi-weekly update of the WNBA, since WNBA is definitely growing in popularity. And I myself agree with a lot of people that's been covering the sport for years that there needs to be some more detailed explanations as to what goes on. For those of you that's kind of new to the sport and don't know the game quite as well, allow me to help you out a little bit with my WNBA bi-weekly show that I'm going to start doing on my Spotify.
Because things got a little interesting over the week, man. At first, you already know I'm about to go with this, man. When Monica McNutt called out Stevie A on the show, like, man, you could have been doing better by the sport, man. 3 years ago, you just started following now, and being a little bit more aggressive to the Caitlin Clarks and some of the main names who was in college, But they definitely been needed a platform, and it just seemed like you said, they just started talking about it like that. Though.
Right, and for those of y'all that's saying, okay, y'all jump on the bandwagon, y'all know better than that. She will tell you, I've been an advocate of not only the WNBA since the beginning of the Nighthawk Network, but throughout my adult life, ever since my days of college. We ain't gonna rehash the story of how I came involved, but if y'all have been listening to the Nighthawk Network for the past 4.5 years, y'all know that story very well. So yeah, we will continue to promote women's sports here on the show, especially the WNBA, because it's one of my personal favorites.
And I don't know if you noticed too, man. I've been putting up a lot of just the ESPNW stuff too, as far as the women. And I've been even up some of the baseball stuff, man. A lot of that stuff that I've been catching on my page, because like I said, I've been following a whole lot more of the women pages too to give me the highlights, and I really enjoyed seeing like the baseball season, man, this year, because
The
it's been
softball
a lot of
season,
action.
you mentioned it. Right. Again, definitely congratulations are in order for the Oklahoma Lady Sooners in the college softball tournament World Series. They have done it again. 4-peat, 4-time champion. Unheard of.
Well, that was well deserved too, man. They ran through the season, man. The teams they played, the only one I thought was gonna give them issues, they kind of ran through them too, and that was Texas, But yeah, Oklahoma definitely deserved that credit, and they need their flowers for that, man. Got 4-peat. This is the first time I've seen that happen in baseball, or any sport for the most part.
Well, of course, the last time I seen anything like that was when my UConn Lady Huskies 4-peated back in the 2010s, back when they had young Breanna Stewart.
And that was definitely well deserved, man. This is crazy too how baseball evolved with the Oklahoma Sooners, but yeah, they definitely got their place in history. So
absolutely,
yeah, it's
definitely
been
one of the
actually
most
pretty good to
dominant
see.
sports teams ever.
That's all I had to say. E-Man, you have any last things you have to say before we
Well,
get up there?
that's it. Like I said, I pretty much said it all in the previous show. So again, thank y'all for your patience. Like I said, we had some stuff we had to deal with this week. That's why we coming to you Friday. We'll be back on Wednesdays next week as scheduled. Until then, y'all have a great weekend. We love you. Thank you for stopping through. Thanks for your comments in the comment section. If you got anything else you want us to start talking about or putting on our pages, by all means, please hit us up in the comments and the likes and all of that, and we will gladly accommodate you. Oh, one last thing, Hugh. Quick pick. We got the Stanley Cup final starting tonight or tomorrow, I believe it is. We got the Panthers against the Edmonton Oilers. Who you got?
I'm going with the Panthers.
Again, I've said it before. I said it again. The NHL is in dire need of a Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup. Because of that, I got to go with the Oilers. I need them to win that cup.
Yeah, I got them Panthers in 5.
All righty, then. I'm going with Oilers in 6. We'll see about it next week, y'all. Until then, we is up out. Throw the fingers up, you. Deuces.